Hello, and thank you for joining our Pitt Eats webinar. Today's presentation is specific to our incoming first-year students. We are almost 2 weeks away from our first day. Yay! A few housekeeping notes before we begin. This session is being recorded and it will be emailed out to everyone probably by the end of next week, if not sooner. This presentation should cover all aspects of our dining meal plan. We have allotted a few minutes at the end of the presentation to answer any questions that maybe we have missed. So my name is Rose Basso and I'm the Director of Dining Services for the university. I'm also a Pitt parent to a junior engineering student and an incoming first-year business student. I am the liaison between the university and Chartwell's, our food service provider, and together we make Pitt Eats. So with me today, I have members of our Pitt Eats team who will be presenting information on our dining program. I'm going to pass it on to John to introduce himself and the Pitt Eats team. So take it away, John.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm John Longo, the Vice President of Pitt Eats. I'm joined here by my colleagues, David Kreisel. He's our Resident District Manager, Maggie Weaver, our Director of Marketing, and Caitlin Courtney, our Director of Culinary. We're so glad you're here. Looking forward to a great year, and feel free to ask any questions as we go along our presentation. We look forward to hearing from you. So, hail to Pitt. We'll see you soon.
All right, and I am going to jump in and start talking about the fun stuff, which is dining on campus. So just to echo what Rose said earlier, this presentation will really cover all things dining on campus. My goal is for everyone to leave here feeling ready to eat on their first weeks on campus, understand the meal plans, and get the most out of their meal plans. So I'm going to jump into this presentation with one of my favorite things to start off these conversations with, which is what is Pitt Eats. So you heard Rose say that, we make up the dining brands on campus. We run the dining program together. Pitt Eats really is just your resource for all things dining on campus. We're made up of a large team across campus of chefs, managers, cooks, servers. There's so many of us who just love food and are dedicated to providing you or your students a delicious experience every day. So spaces we run on campus include the food courts that you might see in some of our retail spaces. I'll talk more about all of our locations later in the presentation, but it includes food courts, our all you care to eat food halls and food locations on campus, our campus markets. We also run campus catering and concessions at sporting events and up in the Peterson Events Center as well. So anywhere you're dining, you can really think that you're dining with Pitt Eats. Just before we move on to getting into the nitty-gritty of meal plans and such, I do just want to point out the QR codes in the corner of all of these slides. Those QR codes go to Dine on Campus. Dine on Campus is the full resource for anything that you might have questions about. Everything from our nutrition and wellness programming, our sustainability programming, every single meal exchange that's going to be on campus available in our retail locations, that's all on Dine on Campus. So if you have questions or you're looking for more detail on something, I encourage you to scan those QR codes and browse through the site, see what you can find. And if not, there's plenty of ways to reach out to us and ask your questions. So starting off with the key to dining on campus, your meal plans. So first year students, many of you may know that we launched new meal plans this year. So this year, first year students have two options for meal plans. Well, four technically, but two categories. So the first one are these full access plans, and these are really going to be sort of the best value, most access to our dining on campus. Full access plans allow you one swipe every hour into our all you care to eat dining locations on campus. So that would be the eatery on lower campus or the perch on upper campus. You also, with a full access plan, get one meal exchange per day. So meal exchanges are retail swipes that you can use at different locations across campus. I will dive in detail into all of these pieces of the meal plan a little bit later in the presentation. So if you just hold on, I promise I'll get to it. With the full access plans, you also get 10 flex meals, which are meals that you can use to swipe in family or friends that might be visiting you on campus, or for yourself if you just want that extra meal exchange or meal swipe per day. And then there are 3 tiers of the full access plan. So the full access plans, the differentiator between them is going to be the amount of dining dollars that comes with each plan. So there are 3 tiers, the lowest being $150 dining dollars. Then there's the $300 dining dollars and the $500 dining dollars. I think one of the questions we get most when we're talking with first years and families and parents and those who are dropping them off for their first weeks at Pitt is what plan is the best for my student. And I always encourage you to think about your dining habits. Do you like to snack? Do you like coffees in the morning? Are you a 4-meal-a-day person? Are you a 3-meal-a-day person? And then think about how that will impact your plan. If you like to get a lot of snacks, if you want to stock your dorm from our campus markets, if you love your afternoon coffee, maybe a higher dining dollar amount is the right for you. So think about your dining habits and think about what will work best for you on campus. The second type of plan we have available to first years this year is the weekly 14. So this is 14 meals per week. That is a set number. So if you eat on campus 3 times on Monday, you then have 11 meals left until the plan resets with meals on Sunday night at midnight. Those meals can be used as meal exchanges in our retail locations or as meal swipes into the all you care to eat food halls. And then you do get $500 dining dollars with this plan and 10 flex meals, just like the full access plans. If you're considering this plan, I always encourage you to think about just the budgeting. If you're a 2-meal-a-day person, the weekly 14 might be perfect for you. If you think you want to eat, multiple days of 3 meal a day, just know that you're going to have to budget those meals. So I'm happy to answer questions about that at the end of this presentation, but those are the 2 types of plans that we have available to our first year students this year. And now, as promised, I'm going to dive into every single piece of those meals plans. So the first is the meal exchange. I mentioned that this is an option that's included with both types of meal plans available to first years. The meal exchanges are a great way that you get flexibility with your dining plan. These are swipes that are good for a combo at a retail location on campus. So you can use one of these swipes to get something like you see at True Burger, which is a burger and fries and a drink. And it gives you a chance to get outside of the dining hall, try something new, and eat at one of our many locations on campus. The difference between the meal swipe versus the meal exchange is where you're eating. So the meal swipe is when you use one of your swipes to enter the all you care to eat areas on campus, the eatery and the perch. So that would be, if you have a full access plan, you can do that once an hour. And then with the meal exchange, that's what I was just talking about, where you use a swipe in exchange for a combo at a retail location. If you have questions about that, again, I encourage you to ask them at the end of this presentation or look on Dine on Campus. We have a full list of every meal exchange that's available at our retail locations across campus. You can sort of get the full picture of what you have access to with a meal plan. Those other pieces of the meal plan include dining dollars. This is what we like to call your meal membership currency. So these are accepted at all Pitt Eats locations on campus. They're good for a la carte purchases, like I mentioned, like coffee, snacks, and you do get a 10% discount when you use them. So it's a little perk. There's no added 7% sales tax when you use dining dollars either. And then the great part about having a meal plan is that 75% of those dining dollars are good for on-campus use. So that's any Pitt Eats location. And then you can also use 25% of those for off-campus use. So that includes restaurants on Forbes Avenue, restaurants in the area, and a full list of that is available on Panther Central's website. Then that last piece of the meal plans is flex meals. So like I mentioned, these are great if you have family visiting, if you have friends visiting and you want to swipe them in to an all you care to eat location, or if you want to use them as a meal exchange for yourself. These are available with those 2 meal plans. And then we do offer an option if you have extra flex meals at the end of the semester to donate those to the Pitt Pantry as part of our Donate a Meal program. Now, dining on campus. So as a first year, you have access to all the dining locations on campus. It's about 40 locations on campus. I'm going to go into specifics about some of them, but we do have, I just want to highlight a couple things. So we have those two all you care to eat dining halls on campus. One is the eatery, the other on the perch. We have one on lower campus, the other on upper. We have 3 campus markets. I'll talk a little bit more about Forbes Street Market later, but the other great thing we have on campus is the market at Towers. That's our frictionless market. It's open 24 hours with frictionless technology. So you can just scan using your Transact mobile app, walk in, take the products you want off the shelf, and then walk out. It's great if you are up at 3 a.m. and want a sandwich, you can just walk down to the market at Towers. We also have a market in upper campus right by the perch in the Sutherland Hall called the Market at Sutherland. We have 4 food courts across campus. Those cover sort of a wide range of cuisines, everything from salads to burgers to, a beloved Chick-fil-A that we have in the Peterson Event Center, and then 9+ coffee shops. So if you need a caffeine fix, Pitt Eats has you covered. There are coffee shops all over campus. Again, if you scan that QR code, you'll get a full campus map, and you can see sort of all of our locations spread out across campus. I do want to talk a little bit more about some of the spaces you'll be spending the most of your time on campus as a first year, especially with a full access plan. So This video playing is a video of our eatery. This is a newly renovated food hall that just opened in August of 2024. Inside the food hall, there's 8 distinct concepts within the all you care to eat area. Each of them has sort of their own personality. We treat them as if they're individual restaurants. They serve different cuisines, and that is all included within that all you care to eat sort of barrier. Outside of the all you care to eat space, we have retail spaces. We have 3 retail spaces. One of them is Unwind. It's a coffee shop that we roast our own coffee at and serve house-made gelato along with a lot of other house-made pastries. Highly recommend to stop there on your first days on campus. We have that market at Towers, the frictionless market I was talking about that's open 24 hours. And then we also have the Delicatessen. I'll talk a little bit more about that later in the presentation when we talk about faith-based dining options, but the Delicatessen is our fully kosher and halal location on campus, available outside of the eatery. The other all you care to eat location we have on campus is the Perch. This is located in Sutherland Hall on upper campus, just right by the Peterson Events Center. This is a more traditional dining hall. We have things like burgers. We have a great global eat station where we're going to be serving items, Latin American inspired items this year. There's a deli station, there's waffles, all sort of those classic eats up at the Perch that's available. There's also a Flourish pantry. So again, I'll talk about this a little bit later in the presentation, but we have in both of our all you care to eat dining halls, there are allergen friendly sections. So those are the Flourish areas on campus. The eatery has a full service Flourish station, which is free of the top 9 allergens. And then up at the Perch, we have the Flourish pantry, which is a pantry with grab and go items that is also free of the top 9 allergens. Some of the other fun locations I always like to highlight when I talk about where you can eat on your first year on campus are the first being the new locations that we opened in November in the Recreation and Wellness Center. These are probably 3 of the newest and 3 of the already most loved locations on campus by students. These are all sort of fuel-focused eats that you can find in the ground floor of the Recreation and Wellness Center. So at that food court, we have Edamame, which is a customizable poke bowl restaurant. We have Recharge Cafe, which is like protein focused classic diner eats, our take on that. And then we have Squeezed, which is the fresh juice bar serving fresh squeezed juice along with acai bowls, some power bites, and some more fun things like smoothies there. Those places you can all use your meal exchange at, and if you want to find out more about that, you can go to dineoncampus.com. We also, right between Posvar Hall and Hillman Library, we have 2 food trucks that are open seasonally. These are also student loved. The first is Ethel's. Ethel's is our take on sort of an all-day diner, offering classic things like pancakes, but also some fun diner style sandwiches for lunch. Then we have Smokeland Barbecue, which is a food truck that serves our house smoked barbecue. This is, I always reference one of our interns last year, Melina. She absolutely loved this truck. They serve, like I said, house smoked barbecue, mac and cheese, sort of the classic barbecue style meals. Like the rec center, these all have meal exchange options at them. And then we have Forbes Street Market, which is a campus market that serves everything from prepared foods. It has a coffee and bakery section, a wonderful chef crafted deli case that has a meal exchange meal at it. And then we also have grocery items there that you can purchase if you want to stock your dorm. Again, like I mentioned earlier, using your dining dollars to get some snacks, some little treats. The Forbes Street Market really has everything for you down on Lower Campus. Coming soon, I wanted to plug our almost coming soon options down at the new Cathedral Cafe. So we have 3 new locations that are going to open up with the renovation of this space that's on the bottom floor of the Cathedral. We have Cathedral Handhelds and Pizza, which is artisan sandwiches and pizza slices that are on a house-made focaccia crust. We'll have the Roost, which is a campus-loved location that we brought back with a couple new items, serving up hand-breaded brined chicken that is fried. And then we have the One Sushi, which is our sushi vendor on campus. They'll have an area for fresh-made sushi rolls, poke bowls, and much more there. So if you follow us on social media, there is a plug for that later in this presentation. You'll be the first to know about when we're opening up these new locations at the Cathedral Cafe, which is currently being renovated. And then now that we know where we're going to eat, let's talk about how we're going to make the most out of our meal plan and how we're going to get the best out of these locations on campus. The first thing to know when you come to campus and you're dining is the three main apps that you need to download to access the most out of your plan. The first is Dine on Campus. I will not stop talking about Dine on Campus because it is our best resource for dining at Pitt Eats, getting the most out of your meal plan. That app has both a campus map on it. It has our daily menus. So if you're curious about what the eatery is serving for lunch on Thursday, you can look at that and find a menu for each station there. It also has hours and access to a feedback form. It is like a condensed version of our website that has a great resource right at your fingertips. Transact Mobile is our mobile ordering app on campus. So if you want to order Eats Ahead, that is the app that you want to use. Some of our locations are mobile order only, and that is a great app to have so you can access those locations. Transact Mobile does offer a great rewards program. So if you want to earn rewards while you use your meal plan, we recommend you download Transact Mobile. Then we have Useful. Useful is our plastic-free takeout program on campus. So Useful is available in our all-you-care-to-eat locations, retail locations, and coffee shops across campus. We have both reusable cups, you can see in that picture up there, and reusable bowls that you can get and take out your food from the eatery and the perch if you're looking to take it from an all-you-care-to-eat area or order your items from a retail location in a reusable bowl to be a little bit more sustainable. So Useful is really cool. It is all app-based. So they call it like checking out a library book. So you scan your container out with an app on your phone, and then you return it at a return receptacle by scanning it there. If you are interested in using the Useful app, if you're interested in downloading the Transact Mobile app or the Dine on Campus app, that QR code will take you to a link tree that has download links for all of them. Feedback. So the next way to sort of get the most, or really just make the most out of your dining program, is to stay in touch with us. So we always encourage students tell us both the positives of their dining experiences and their negatives. I wanted to talk through the main ways, the main feedback channels today. The first being text to chat. So text to chat is a text-based feedback system that we have all across campus. This is great for things like there's no napkins at the station, we need more forks here, ketchup's out. This goes directly to all of our managers in those spaces. If you look at the individual numbers, those go to the managers and they can take care of that problem immediately and make sure that it's handled and it's fixed, and we're moving forward with that not being an issue anymore. Dine on Campus, like I mentioned when I was talking about the app, has a feedback form that is great for longer form feedback. If you have suggestions about things you'd like to see on the menu, if there was an issue that you'd like to report, you can go straight to that feedback form, and that goes to, again, all the senior leaders on campus, all the managers in the spaces, and then we can take care of it and address your feedback or dining concern or question immediately. And then Happy or Not. This is a great touch point just as you're leaving any of our dining locations on campus. It's very simple. Tap the green smiley face if you're happy, the red smiley face if you didn't have a good experience, and let us know, how we did that day. This is something that we look at regularly, almost daily in some cases, to see, how we're doing, where can we improve, what was good today, who can we compliment for doing great, and where do we need to work? What areas do we need to work on? So we always recommend when you're leaving, let us know how we did, whether it's a quick tap of the screen or if you want to leave a longer note. It's great for us to look at and just get a touch point on how we're doing. Another great way to make the most out of your meal plan is to join us for some of our wonderful events. My team does a great job planning we like to call them pops of joy within the dining halls. We like to do fun things just to bring a little pop of joy to your day with something new and something fun. You can see some of our favorites from past years are when we had Chef Jet pop up at the eatery. We love to do teaching kitchens, which gets students paired with culinarians to learn both culinary skills and, make something in the back of house or in the front of house. We have had so much fun with our pastry chef Lino this year doing demos and teaching kitchens with like tiramisu. He did a great tres leches one. And then we run legacy events like a Thanksgiving event every year in the eatery and the perch. We love a midnight breakfast where we serve breakfast food from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. in the dining hall. So the best way to hear about all the events and all the pop-ups and everything we're doing is to follow us on social media. So social media is not just a resource for pop-ups and events, even though it's great and you'll learn about everything we're doing in real time on social media. It really is one of the ways that we share most of the information on campus. So it's a great tool to look at if something is closed. We'll always post an update on social media to let you know that there will be an adjustment in hours that day. We'll also post fun videos letting you know what the limited time offers at our burger restaurant is that month. So we recommend you follow us, parents, students, everyone, just to check out what Pitt Eats is doing and, you know, keep up with us in real time. I am going to jump now into student resources. So unfortunately, our wonderful registered dietitian, Lindsay Wilson, could not be with us today. So I'm going to cover her section. If you have questions for Lindsay, her contact information is on this page, and she is a wonderful resource that you can reach out to if you're a student with a, you know, allergen or, you know, a dietary preference that you just want to talk to someone or get with Lindsay to help navigate your dining experience as a first year on campuses. Lindsay is available, as you can see her wonderful face and her contact info. She is available to every student on a meal plan for a one-on-one consultation, whether it's that you want to make sure you're making the right choices as a first year on campus, the best choices for your lifestyle, or if you know, have an allergen and want to know where can I eat and what's best for me to eat, and you know, where can I feel the most safe and access the most food. Lindsay is the best resource for that. She's available at all of those contact information, all of those contact ways, and will be around during arrival week to talk with students, to talk with families, to talk with anyone who may have a question with her. Some of the programs that she has her hands in are what I'm going to go through now. So the first is menu information. Like I mentioned earlier, Dine on Campus is a great resource for menus. So you can find everything, as you can see from the screenshot of a desktop, of what's being served that day at a particular station. If you scan that QR code, it'll take you to the menu page. You can also find that on the Dine on Campus app. This is great for checking if something, you know, meets what you're looking for that day, or if you just want to know if you want to go to the eatery for this specific item, maybe it's going to be on the menu that day and you can check. On our menus, we have dietary icons that are spelled out here. So this is something that Lindsay works with our culinary teams on to make sure it's input on every menu. So if you're looking for an item that is avoiding gluten, vegan, vegetarian, or high in protein, you can find that with a glance at the mobile app or a glance at our menu screens. All of these icons are on both our digital menu boards, our PIDs above each item on the lines, and then again, they're on that online menu on Dine on Campus. So these, like I said, these denote if items are vegan, vegetarian, avoiding gluten, or a good source of protein. If you have questions about these icons and how to, you know, make sure you're navigating them correctly, again, I recommend you reach out to Lindsay, as she is our expert in these areas. If you're looking at the menus and you want a little bit more than just a menu item, you can, a menu icon, you can click on the item on the menu and it'll give you a detailed sort of look, a glance at the ingredients in it, so you can get a full look at what each item has included and what, you know, its nutritional breakdown is. We have PIDs, like you can see the Mediterranean chicken sandwich at all of our items on the stations. And then again, if you click on the digital menu, it'll give you this sort of like larger look at the item itself. I'm going to continue to point to Lindsay, but if there's questions about that, Caitlin can also answer them as she's on the call, but Lindsay would be the best to, you know, help navigate this. Ingredient experts are our experts on the ingredients on campus. These team members are available at every station and they have the most knowledge about the ingredients. So if you are looking for, you know, someone to ask a question about, you're not sure about this menu item, even though you looked on Dine on Campus, or you just have a question, the ingredient experts, and you can see by this button I have on the screen here, they are going to be the ones with the most knowledge. So we encourage you, if you have a question about an ingredient, a menu item, anything, to go find an ingredient expert or one of our managers and ask them so we can help you best navigate our menus properly that day. And now moving on to a couple things I've talked about earlier in this presentation, Flourish and the Delicatessen. So Flourish, like I said, has a full service station in the eatery and then has a pantry for grab and go items up in the perch. It is dedicated to preparing foods exclusively with ingredients that do not contain the top 9 major allergens or gluten. So that is a great accessible option for any student with an allergen. And if you have questions about what's on the menu, how that works, how we're making sure our allergens safe, our staff is trained, Lindsay is a great resource to reach out to that, or David or Caitlin, again, could answer that call, or John on this call right now. The Delicatessen, located in Litchfield Towers outside of the eatery, is our certified kosher and halal location on campus. We serve meals for every meal period out of that location. And we also offer kosher items for grab and go in our markets across campus. If you have questions about where to find that, again, I would recommend you reach out to Lindsay. Resources. So like I said, Lindsay will be around during welcome week and arrival if when you're moving in and trying out the eatery or the perch for the first time and you have questions, she will be there. We're going to post a schedule of where she'll be on social media. So if you're looking for her, have a specific question, you'll be able to figure out, where you can meet with her. But if you're in a dining hall and have a question, you can find resources like this Navigating Food Allergies and Special Diets guide that we have for the University of Pittsburgh, along with her card and a ton of other information on a resource table. So we'll have resource tables set up for you to grab anything that you might be interested in learning more about, or whether it's just getting Lindsay's contact information to talk to her, that will be set up in both the eatery and the perch. And again, she'll have a schedule of where she'll be and we'll make sure that's on social media. So if you'd like to chat with her, she will be available. And then before we get into questions, I also wanted to talk about where to find us. So if you have questions about how to best navigate your meal plan, questions about how your meal plan works, the meal exchange, dining dollars, anything that, comes up when you're on campus in those first few days of arrival and even welcome week, this is where you can find Pitt Eats. So a member of my team, our entire team, will be in the dining areas every time that we're open, or you can visit us at any of these special events sort of throughout the week. So on Saturday and Sunday during move-in, we'll be in the quad with a number of other resource tables set up there ready to answer any questions. We'll also be offering eatery tours during those times. So if you are interested in seeing where your student's going to eat every day, or if you are a student and interested in seeing, what is the eatery and how do I make the most out of this, you can sign up for a tour on the QR code on the top of this screen. We're offering 2 tours on Saturday and 2 tours on Sunday. And then Monday through Thursday, if you're out and about, if you want to try a food truck, you'll see us there outside of Essel's and Smokeland in the alley between Hillman and Posvar. We will be out there with resources. You'll have a couple other of our members, like Lindsay will be there one day. Emmy from our sustainability team will be joining us along with Pepsi, so you can get some freebies and ask any questions you might have about your meal plan. We're also going to have the Pitt Eats passports that you can see on the bottom of the screen there. These are a great way to make sure you see some different locations in your first couple weeks on campus, and you can win a stuffed cooler that will start your semester out with a stock of snacks and beverages and everything you could want. So if you turn that passport in, once you get stamped at all the locations, you'll be entered to win that cooler. You can get those at any of these events, and they will also be in some care package making partnerships with the university.